Welcome to Hudson Raider football on the River Channel. It's playoff time. Division I, Level 1 playoff tonight here at Newton Field. The Hudson Raiders hosting Green Bay Preble tonight. The Raiders coming off a season in which they went 7-2, 5-2 in the Big Rivers Conference, have earned a number 2 seed in this Level 1 playoff, and be taking on a number 7 seed in Green Bay Preble. Tell us about them, Joel.
Well, I think, this is a game that probably a year ago would have been played at a neutral site. Green Bay having to travel all the way across the state. Green Bay comes from the Fox River Classic Conference. They come in with a record of 5-4. Really a tale of 2 seasons for Green Bay Preble. They started out with a loss against the Schwabenon. They reeled off 5 straight wins and ended the season on 3 consecutive losses. They're averaging 21.6 points a game, but the last 3 games combined, they've only managed to put up 7 points. So really, it's been kind of a tale of 2 seasons. They've beat up on the teams they should beat up on, but they've lost all the good teams in their conference. Their only quality win would be against Manitowoc Lincoln. That was the only team with a winning record that they beat, and that's the only playoff team that they had a victory against.
The Raiders have finished their season kind of in opposite form. They've won 4 straight games to finish the season, kind of beat up on those lesser teams in the conference, but either way, they took care of business in those games and ended up with a pretty good season, 7-2, number 2 seed here in this Division I bracket. Should be an exciting playoff series, and like you said, new rule in the WIA, the higher seed's going to get the home game at least through the first 2 rounds. So if the Raiders are able to win tonight, unless the WIA decides to back away from a rule that they made, they should get another home game next week.
Yeah, I would think, and, realistically, looking at the numbers, and, this is a game that Hudson should win. Whether they will or not, that's why they play the games. But if this would have been any other year, I would think that Hudson would have a really decided advantage playing Green Bay Preble. But, normally Hudson takes care of business in the conference, and maybe will lose a non-conference game. This year they did lose 2 conference games, but both those teams are playing tonight too. So
Hudson Raiders are receiving the opening kickoff, and we're set to go here at Newton Field. Playoff football about ready to get started. Green Bay Preble with the green pants, white jerseys. The Raiders in their gray pants and blue jerseys, pink socks. And it'll be Hami taking it out to the 24-yard line, and that's where the Raiders will start this first drive. The Raiders the past 2 seasons have won 3 games in the playoffs, going all the way to the state semifinals before losing. So pretty successful last few trips to the postseason for this Hudson Raiders squad over the last few years, and this team hoping to extend that streak starting this evening.
I think the key for Hudson's success tonight is going to be their ability to run the ball. Once again, they rushed for over 2,000 yards on the season. Hudson comes in averaging over 225 yards per game on the ground. If they can get that going tonight, it's going to be a long night for Preble.
And they will start on the ground. They're going to go to Dayton Demel, and Demel's got 3 or 4 on first down. He'll set up a pretty decent second down. We'll call it about 2nd and 6 coming up for the Raiders. Raiders back to the line of scrimmage here.
Dayton Demel did lead the Raiders in rushing with 778 yards on the season, 5.6 yards per carry with 11 touchdowns.
And they will give to Demel once again, and Demel should have enough for a first down, and he does. So 2 gains of about 6 yards apiece, and the Raiders move the chains in the first 2 downs. And Demel really last week against Eau Claire North was kind of their biggest weapon. He had some really nice gains last week against the Huskies to bring the Raiders back from a 14-point deficit against Eau Claire North. And they'll go to Demel again. Big hole for Dayton Demel. Demel across midfield down to the 48, 49-yard line. Another first down for the Raiders. And if they can continue to move the ball like this tonight, as you said, Joel, it might be a long night for Preble.
Yeah, Dayton is averaging 126 yards per game in their conference games.
Raiders set up shop just into Green Bay Preble territory. Whistles blow and flags fly. That Green Bay Preble player did jump. Let's see if he was drawn off sides.
One thing I did see is we do have Wilgren back in the lineup for Hudson. They're a big right tackle.
And it will go against Green Bay Preble. Last week, this Raider offensive line without Wilgren did a heck of a job. A lot of big holes in the running game for the Raiders last week. And they will give it to Braden Marvin this time. And Marvin still on his feet, battling. It's going to be about a gain of 7 yards, and that should be another first down for Hudson.
Braden Marvin does lead the Raiders in average per carry at 9.6 yards. He's the second leading rusher on the Raiders with 577 yards. Also has 6 touchdowns, so it's pretty potent 1-2 punch for the Raiders.
And the Raiders will give it to Nick Holm this time. And Holm's another guy that has peeled off some nice runs for this Hudson Raider team this year. Gain of 8 for Nick Holm on first down, sets up a 2nd and 2 for Hudson.
That's one thing the Raiders have always done a good job on under the Cowles regime, is being able to substitute in backs.
And they'll give it to Holm once again. He rolls out of a tackle, through another, and he's down to around the 16-yard line. Another big run for Nick Holm, and the Raiders with a fresh set of downs inside the Green Bay Preble red zone.
You know, reading some of the press about the Green Bay Preble, they kind of were bragging. They had an inconsistent offense, but they thought they had a fairly decent defense. They are missing one of their captain defensive linemen, is not playing tonight, so that may have somewhat of an impact on the game.
They'll give it to Diemel once again, and Diemel about 5 or 6 yards there. The Raiders aren't really doing anything very fancy here, Joel, just right up the middle, and really the guys in the white shirts haven't touched their running backs until they're 4 or 5 yards downfield. And the boys up front have been plowing some big holes here in this drive. Go up the middle once again for Diemel. That's going to be probably the shortest run of the night so far. Gain of about 2 on that. Set up Hudson's first 3rd down opportunity of the evening, about 3rd and 5 coming up.
I'd like to see him do something a little wide here. Maybe do that fake to Diemel and then pitch it to Marvin around this near end.
Raiders try to draw him off sides first. Green Bay says the Raiders move, but no call by the officials. And they're going to give it to Diemel up the middle, nothing doing there. Gain of about a yard is going to set up 4th down.
And this brings up an interesting point at the game today, because their place kicker, Christian Bell, is not playing tonight. So the Raiders normally here, who would probably run out their field goal team, is going to be forced to go for it on 4th down here.
Bell was injured last week early in the game playing defense against Eau Claire North and didn't play the rest of that game. Looks like he's suited up down there, but not playing this evening.
Preble led their conference in interceptions.
Ucatil completes the pass, but I think he's short of the first down.
Yep, that's not going to be enough. That's going to be, I don't know. I think he's going to be short.
Yeah, he's well short. He's a good yard short. Braden Marvin taken out of bounds at the 7. Looks like the Raiders need to get to around the 6 to complete that. This is going to be Green Bay ball.
No, they don't even measure it. I thought they would have measured it, but
he was a good yard short.
Well, and just like that, the Raider offense stalls. He's going to give Preble the ball deep in their own territory.
Again, this is an offense that has really struggled over the last 3 weeks. Green Bay Preble shut out in 2 of their last 3 games, scored 7 points 2 games ago. So if the Raider defense can come up with a big stop here, I would expect Hudson to get pretty good starting field position out of that drive if the Raider defense can show up here and get a 3-and-out.
Yeah, and this is a area that the Raiders have had some problem in this year, is, you know, stopping teams deep in their own territory.
And they will pitch it around the right side. Jack Koski in there in the tackle, but not until after Columbia is going to pick up around 7 yards there in first down. Dylan Van Boxel, the Green Bay Preble quarterback, junior quarterback, averaging about 100 yards passing per game this season. 2nd and 3 now for Preble. Preble will spread it out. 2 receivers on the near side of the field, 1 on the far side.
Preble's game plan is to slow this game down. They're going to milk the clock all the way down. Try to use as much of the clock as possible, waiting until the back judge started counting for the last 5 seconds before they snap that ball.
They'll hand it off to Columbia again, and that will move the chains. Gain of around 4, and that will give the Hornets a first down.
It'll be a very stark contrast in playing styles here, where the Raiders know how to hurry up and get as many snaps as possible to Preble's slow it down and, you know, keep it a low-scoring game and hang in it till the end.
This will be a little bit of pre-snap confusion here. And Preble will send a man in motion.
We got a flag.
Snap. They get it over to the left side. Nice tackle over there by John Cryer. We'll see what the flag is. That slow down kind of tactic has worked. We saw it last year in the NFL with the Denver Broncos, the highest scoring team of all time in the NFL. They played the San Diego Chargers last year, who really had one of the worst defenses in the league, but they were the only team to hold Denver under 28 points. And they did it, well, besides Seattle, they did it by holding onto the ball offensively. They just dominated the game in time of possession.
A little surprised there that Hudson took that penalty. I thought maybe they would have declined it since it was a stop for, it looks like they lost about a yard on the play, but Hudson pushes them back.
1st and 15 for the Hornets.
Once again, he's content just to sit there. And
Van Boxel under center, and they'll pitch it to the near side. Raiders able to pull down the runner. It was Matt Hall.
So you got all the penalty yards back anyway. Almost 6 yards on the play.
Gain of around 6 brings up 2nd and 9. Xander Motu on the tackle for Hudson.
Gain of about 6 on that. We'll call it 2nd and 9. Ball's right at the 20.
Preble back to the shotgun now. 2 receivers on both sides of the formation. Columbia back there with Van Boxel. And they will hand it off to Columbia, and he is absorbed by the Raider defense. Jack Koski.
Nothing happened there on that play.
Jack Koski and Holden Timmon there on the tackle, and that one had nowhere to go. Loss of 2 will bring up 3rd down and 11. This is the spot where the Raider defense needs to get off the field.
Yep, and this is you know, it would be a typically passing down. You know, look at the numbers. Green Bay Preble has passed. They're averaging 120 yards per game passing and only 71 rushing. So they do try to pass the ball. See if Hudson can come up with an interception here. They have been known to throw the ball to the opposing team.
3rd and 11. They'll wing it out to the near side. It's caught, but tackled immediately, and he's going to be short of the first down. Got it out to T.J. Corona, but well short of the first down, and the punt team will come onto the field. John Cryer over there with the tackle for the Raiders.
Well, Hudson gives up about 15 yards of field possession on that drive and should get the ball back in fairly decent position.
Henrik Wiesmeyer back to receive the punt. Standing at around his own 40 right now.
Oh, terrible kick.
Short kick.
Get away from it. Oh, it takes a Hudson bounce. Perfect.
So the Raiders will get the football on the 38-yard line. Not only was it bad, but it took a Hudson bounce. And the Raiders, with some really nice starting field position here, they'll start at the 38. And this is a spot where they need to keep the momentum of that run game going and take it right into the end zone here. 4:24 left in the first quarter. We're scoreless. First round of the Division I WIAA playoffs. Hudson Raiders hosting Green Bay Preble. And this is going to be Yucatil. He kicks it. Kicks it out to the outside man, Jordan Carranza. And that will be a first down, gain of around 20.
That's a play I wanted to see last time when they got it down there, down on the 10-yard line, or down on the 20-yard line. I wanted to see that. So let's see if we can keep that outside running game going.
Yucatil was 10 yards downfield before he had to push it out. And now they'll come around the other side. This is Hami. He finds the edge and will take it inside the 20.
Looked like that was going to be a little bit bigger gain, and he was forced to keep it a little bit farther to the outside than he wanted to.
Gain of around 4. We'll set up second down in the long 6 for the Raiders. Yucatil will go under center and give it to Braden Marvin. Marvin slips through a tackle and picks up around 5 yards. Will set up a third down and short for Hudson. Brought down at around the 14-yard line, sets up third down and 3 coming up here.
That's kind of that inside reverse that Hudson's run so well this season.
Raiders try to draw him. Send Trapicio in motion. We'll give it to Demel. Demel knocked over. Going to get about a yard or 2, but he's going to be short of the first down.
John Wilgren was looking for a penalty. Look at the Green Bay Preble defender was holding on to him, kind of threw him to the ground there. Had a little conversation with the official, and well, here we go, 4th and short.
4th and about a yard and a half for Hudson. They'll give it to Demel. Demel should have the first down.
Looks like he got across the 10.
Needed about the 10 and a half. Looks like he made it to around the 9 and a half. They'll give him the 10. That will move the chains. 1st and goal for the Raiders at the 10-yard line. And Yucatil will keep it himself.
He's going to get in.
He's into the end zone.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Raiders. John Yucatil from 10 yards out took it around the corner there and fell into the end zone, draped by 2 Green Bay Preble players, but had the momentum, and it's 6-0 Hudson with 2:52 to play in the first quarter.
Very good decision by Yucatil there to keep that ball and get it into the end zone. It's like Charlie Richards comes into hold in 51. I do not have a 51 in my comes in to kick. He's a sophomore. Boots it, no good. Boy. Huh.
Plenty of leg behind it,
Yeah.
but wide, and the Raider lead will stay at 6-0.
I thought it went right through the uprights, but
Obviously
not.
Last week they brought Trapicio in to kick once Bell went down, and Trapicio, the first attempt was nowhere near good, and then I believe he did make one, but it had a look of the Raiders are probably going to be going for 2 for much of the rest of the season.
Well, I don't know about that. It looked like it was a nice snap, good hold, good spot. Kick just pushed off to the right.
Parker Cole, I believe, is what I heard his name was. Sophomore kicker, number 51. You take what you can get when you're a sophomore and you get to play varsity football.
Let's see how he does on the kickoffs. This is going to be the important part of the game.
Well, he certainly had plenty of leg on the extra point attempt.
What little wind there is here tonight is kind of blowing from the southwest.
Pretty nice kick. It's going to be fielded at the 10-yard line. And the Raiders will bring him down. Call it around the 22-yard line.
That was
Give Joe Geisler the credit for the tackle.
There was no way that return was going to go anywhere. There were 5 Raiders down there. The blocking wedge, if for lack of a better term, was down at the hash mark, and he caught that ball close to the sideline, and there was just no way he was going to get over to that.
So Preble was able to get 1 first down their last drive. A second possession of the evening for Preble comes with 2:47 left in the first quarter. Van Boxel from the shotgun will hand it off to Columbia, and Columbia's got about 3.
This Ryder made a nice tackle there. Brought him down right away, but it would have been nice if he would have pushed him backwards instead of letting him get 4 yards. It's one thing we talk about all the time is if those running backs can start falling forward, that gives them an extra yard or 2. Makes those third and should be 3rd and longs, makes them 3rd and shorts.
Hornets will run some clock here. And they'll hand it off to Reigner, and Reigner goes nowhere. Host of Raiders over there, Niederhauser, Koski, and Holden Tim. Ryan Ryder also in there on the tackle, and it's a short gain. They'll bring up 3rd down and 7 now for the Hornets. Based upon what we saw to that last punt, this is a big 3rd down for Green Bay Preble. 3rd and long. Preble will spread them out. 3 receivers to the far side of the field, 1 to the near side. These guys, man, ball comes loose. Raiders have it.
Well, there's a penalty. I think we're going to have some interference. I think we're going to have something that's going to go. I think this is going to go. This is going to go against the Raiders.
Ryan Boxell's pass was complete, a fumble, and we're going to wait and see what they call.
Yeah,
I got to believe it's going to go against the Raiders.
They're pushing the Hudson players out of the referee huddle, so it's not looking good.
I just don't get how that. I don't know. I did not see a penalty, but.
Officials having
officials are
a
talking
long
about
meeting
it.
about this.
This is kind of a big call of the game here.
And they will call interference,
they're calling
against
interference
Hudson.
against the Raiders.
So the interference penalty will give Green Bay Preble a 1st down.
But I don't understand. They're going to have to, because it was a fumble with a turnover. So.
Well, the interference occurred before that.
So, but it would be a 10-yard or probably a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot then, because it was a fumble. They can't mark it at the spot of the. They're going to mark off 15 yards against the Raiders.
So they will mark it from the line of scrimmage, and it'll be a 1st and 10.
And I don't know how that official again was on the far side of the field. How he called that interference.
So 1st and 10 for Green Bay Preble at the 41-yard line. Raiders lead it 6-0 late in the first quarter. Preble sends a man in motion, and they're going to hand it off to Columbia going around the right side. And he's got nowhere to go. A host of Raiders in there to pull him down. Be a loss of 1. Now they're going to give him a short gain out of it. They give him a yard. Ryan Ryder, Xander Motu in there on the tackle.
You know, where we've seen other teams kind of challenge Hudson running, right at the middle. It looks like Green Bay Preble is content to try to challenge the edges. Not having a whole lot of success so far.
14 seconds left in the quarter. Most likely the last play of the first quarter coming up right here. They'll pitch it to the near side, and now he'll cut it back up, and nothing doing there. for Ragnar.
And that's
And
the
that
end
will
of the first quarter.
end the first quarter. So at the end of one, it's Hudson 6, Green Bay Preble 0, and a third down and long coming up for Green Bay Preble when we start up here in the second quarter shortly. What do you think so far, Joel?
Well, I think it's, Green Bay's obviously their game plan is trying to slow the game down, try to hang with it. They must not think they have much of a chance to beat Hudson. And I think Hudson just needs to keep doing what they're doing. Just keep pounding that ball, keep pounding the rock, and, work the inside, work the outside, and get some big plays.
It doesn't look like, so far from what we've seen from Preble's defense, they're going to be able to contain the run game. It's just whether or not they're going to be able to stay and keep pace with the Raider offense tonight, because it doesn't look like the Preble defense is really much of a match for the Raider offense tonight.
In Green Bay, Preble, I'm kind of surprised. They've only thrown the ball twice. They've completed both their attempts, and yet they're still trying to run the ball against this Raider defense, which they've had very little success at doing.
Superior was able to win last week, win the Big Rivers Conference, and finish their season 9-0. Let's talk about this. They went 9-0 in the Big Rivers, won the conference. They get put into Division II, and they are the number 2 seed in the bracket, and that kind of sounds like it stinks, but get this. Holman went 8-1. They're the 7th seed. They get to travel to Superior tonight.
Was it? Did they go 9-0 or were they 8-1? Didn't they lose a preseason game to, I think it was Hopkins?
I don't think so. We can take a look, but I thought they were 9-0. Preble trying to throw it, and Van Boxel gets it out there.
Big mistake by the Hudson secondary on that play. Abandoned the receiver when he thought he was going to run it and let the receiver get behind him and allowed him to make that catch. That was just very close to being a great play by the Raider defense. Turned into a big play for the Hornet offense.
It's a shame, too, because honestly, they wouldn't have needed the secondary players to bring the quarterback down. The defensive line was just about ready to pull him down as he got the ball out of there. First and 10 now for Preble.
Got to play smart.
And they're going to hand it off to Columbia. Nothing doing there. Gain of about 2 or 3. They'll give him 3.
Boy, they gave him a good spot on that.
Xander Motu and Jack Koski in there on the tackle. Other Big Rivers teams in action tonight. Menominee got an 8 seed in Division II as well. They finished the season 4-3 in the conference, 5-4 overall. Van Boxel throws it over to the far side of the field on a receiver screen. That'll be enough for another first down.
This could be dangerous if Green Bay Preble starts getting their passing game going, starts getting some confidence in it. That's been the Achilles heel of the Raiders all season.
Randy Bialczak with the catch. It's a first and 10 here for Green Bay Preble.
Raiders need to come up with a positive defensive play here. They're a big sack, interception, something big here. We got to keep this lead.
First and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Oh, they got an uncovered wide receiver on this side.
Nobody on the slot man. They're going to run it to the far side of the field with Columbia, and he's going to have probably 5 yards on the carry.
Xander Motu on the tackle for the Raiders.
Just short of a 5-yard gain there. So Menominee tonight playing 9-0 Menasha, the 1 seed. Rice Lake also qualified at 4-3, 6-3 overall. They are the number 3 seed in Division III bracket. They're taking on Osceola tonight. From the shotgun, Van Boxel surveys, He's going to pull it down and now throw it into the end zone to a wide open receiver. And again, as soon as that quarterback pulled it down, the secondary kind of let their receivers go. Raiders are very fortunate that that wasn't a touchdown.
That receiver was wide open. There was nobody within 5 yards of him. That was just flat out a bad pass.
Third down coming up. Third and a long 5, short 6 coming up here. 9:19 left to play here in the second quarter.
This really opens up your whole playbook because you still can get a first down. And I just don't understand why you're playing so far off.
Van Boxel from the shotgun. Looks to the far side, throws it in the end zone, incomplete. Fourth down coming up. And it looks like Green Bay Preble will send a kicking team in. So if Preble goes ahead and tries to kick a field goal here, I'd say this is a definite dodged bullet here by the Hudson Raider defense.
Well, it all goes back to that play where the secondary Hudson let the receiver go and on the scramble and gave up that big first down.
Austin Lacey to kick. Van Boxel is the holder, the quarterback, so keep an eye on that. Kick is up, and it looks like it's good, and it is. So the drive yields a field goal, and that will split the Hudson Raider lead in half now to 6-3 with 9:09 to play in the second quarter.
Well, and that's got to be a win for the Raider defense there, not giving up the score. But they did give up a long drive, and that falls right into Preble's game plan. Keep the ball out of the hands of the Raider offense and keep it down to a one possession game and try to sneak one out here.
Raider offense averaging 34.7 points per game this season.
This Raider team has kind of really been a Jekyll and Hyde team. We've seen them come out and just, look unstoppable like world beaters, and then we've seen them come out and kind of lay an egg once in a while.
Nick Holm and Tanner Hami deep to receive the kickoff.
Wouldn't put it beyond Green Bay Preble to try an onside kick here at some point.
Kick this one deep. It's going to be fielded by Hami at the 10-yard line. Cuts it up, finds a hole, and takes it out to around the 35-yard line. So they'll mark it. I think they're going to mark it around the 35 here. Raiders a pretty decent field position after the 25-yard kick return. Yucatil and company back on the field. They've moved the ball well in the previous 2 drives. Had one drive just kind of slow down around the 10-yard line. And Raiders weren't able to get anything on that one, but scored on their second drive of the night.
This is an important drive for the Raiders. Keep the momentum going on offense. And like you said, they haven't had to punt yet, but they've only had 2 drives, and we're almost halfway through it the second quarter.
Yucatil looking to throw. Plenty of time.
He's
right down the middle of
him.
the field. Looking for Wiesmeyer, and it's incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up.
He had Marvin wide open on this side of the field, too. Boy, that call right there, that could be a drive killer, because if you don't get some positive yards on this play, it's going to bring up third and long.
Send Marvin in motion. Yucatil set to throw again. Gets it across to Wiesmeyer. Wiesmeyer's got first down yardage out to the 45.
That looks like it's going to be close to a first down. I can't see where he spotted it, but
it's going to be close where he spotted it. The marker right on the 45-yard line.
Well, it's either going to be 3rd and inches or first down. On there, the down marker's already converted over to first down.
He's a Hudson guy, though, Joel. The down marker guys are not neutral parties.
I was just going to say he's got a better look at it than we do.
So 1st and 10 for the Raiders at the 45. And they'll give the Deemel this time around the right side. Deemel pick up around 7. Going to set up a 2nd and short. Raiders right back to the line of scrimmage. Ukitil will go under center. And they'll give the Deemel again. Deemel has the first down, gain of around 4. And that will move the chains.
Tackled by number 63, Ryan Ray. Ryan Ray on the tackle for the Hornets.
Ukitil looking to throw once again. Downfield through the hands of Braden Marvin, who had beaten his man.
Oh, no, Marvin had it in his hands. Oh.
Stops the clock with 8:18 to play in the 2nd quarter. Hudson leads at 6-3 over Green Bay Preble. Level 1 Division I playoff game. And they're going to give it to Deemel this time. Deemel's going to get about 3.
Deemel on the carry. Deemel with a gain of about 3 on that. Tackled by number
3rd and a long 7 coming up.
as well as number 44, Riley Vandenklis.
Raiders bring in a couple receivers now. They've got 2 on the far side, 1 on the near side. Braden Marvin, the lone wing back. We're going to send Trapiccio in motion. Ukitil to throw once again. Throws it downfield, and he's got his man, Jamison Krause, and Krause will have the first down. Needed about 7. I think he got around 9, and that will move the chains again for the Raiders. Ukitil under center on 1st and 10, looking to throw once again. Throwing downfield, looking for Wiesmeyer.
Touchdown!
Touchdown, Raiders!
Got away with a little bit of a push off there, but I'm not going to complain. With all the interference calls we've taken this year.
I think we call that separation, Joel. A little bit of separation by the receiver, and the Hudson Raiders are back into the end zone for the 2nd time this evening, and they lead it now 12-3. Raider kick team back onto the field.
And that offensive line of the Hudson with Josh Nelson, Andy Johnson, Grant Mara, Wilgren, and Davis have really been doing an excellent job keeping Ukitil on his feet. He's had all the time in the world to throw the ball tonight.
It's down, and that one didn't have a chance.
I think they better start going for 2.
Yeah.
7:37 left in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, the kid looks like he got a pretty decent leg on kickoffs, but from what we've seen so far in these extra points, the Raiders are going to be better served just to go for 2 the rest of the evening here. Lead it 12-3 with 7:37 left to go in the first half. Really, the Raider offense has been pretty dominant in this game. They, like I said, they stalled out on that one drive down around the 10, but other than that, they've been pretty much unstoppable this evening.
And they're going to have to keep scoring points. I mean, with that really hurts you when you give away those freebies. But just keep racking up the points and keep holding them to field goals, and we'll be just fine.
Really, the Raider defense, other than a couple of broken plays, have been pretty solid as well. Preble really hasn't been able to run the football on them tonight. Other than the 2 broken plays there, they haven't been able to manage much yardage either this evening.
Yeah, the only really play that I was disappointed that first down completion that they had, that was really a breakdown and mental breakdown by the Hudson defense. They had them stopped. What's the old saying on defense? Just do your job.
That's right. Line drive kick is
Oh!
going to get into the end zone for a touchback. The Preble player was waiting for it to kind of bounce out of bounds and get themselves some good field position. Bounced into the end zone before falling out of bounds, and the Hornets will come out to the 20-yard line.
Look like for a minute there, I was going to knock the pylon over, but yeah, they definitely were hoping for that thing to bounce out of bounds. It would have been nice if it would have died there and would have been forced to pick it up. That would really set them back in a hole.
Van Boxel will start from under center here. They're going to run it around the left side with Ragnar. And Regner's going to get around 6 yards.
Tackled by number 92. Jacobson and Motu. Xander Motu.
Give him 7. It's going to set up second down and 3. Clock approaching 7 minutes to play here in the second quarter.
This is an opportunity here where you may want to take a shot at a pass play.
Again, Van Boxel taking his time for snapping the football. And they're going to give it to Ragnar once again, and going to be close to a first down. Let's see where they mark it. Short gain, but didn't need much to move the chains. Yeah, needed 3, got about 3.5. It'll be first and 10 for the Hornets.
Somebody's going to stoppage a play here. I don't know. Their official call a timeout.
Officials
Is there a problem with the clock or
having a talk, and looks like they're going to do something with the
wanted to
clock
adjust
here.
the clock.
Coach Cowell's relaying up to the box, whatever it is the officials are looking for. 6:27 to go right now. Let's see, and they reset it, make it 6:33 to go.
Well, I'm sure that's not something that Preble wanted, the way they've been trying to milk out the clock.
And they're going to give it to Ragnar again this time. To be stopped just over the line of scrimmage. They'll give him about a half of a yard on that run.
Tackled by Holden Tim. Holden Tim of the Raiders, as well as number 6, Jack Koski. Koski and Tim on the tackle.
Jack Koski and Holden Tim in there on the tackle. Second and a long 9 coming up now for Green Bay Preble. Had a couple bizarre moments last week, Joel. You missed out on a kind of a weird game last week. The game got it started about 10 minutes late because there was some vomit on the field. I'm going to be blunt. There was vomit on the field that they had to clean up before the game even started. Van Boxel's going to throw deep. He's got his man
Picked
off.
There we go.
The ball was up in the air, and Wes Corum just stepped in front of it, pulled it down, and the Hudson Raiders offense will come back onto the field. Wes Corum out there playing safety, and just a little bit too much air under that ball when Van Boxel threw it deep. We had that issue with the field. Then another weird, bizarre happening. John Ucatil scored from about 35 yards out, and as he passed the official at around the 5-yard line, The officials saw that Ucatil didn't have his mouth guard in. They called the touchdown back because no mouth guard. Haven't seen that call
That was
ever.
a nice play by Wes Corum there at safety. Playing center field there, just goes, oh, there's another pick. Uh-oh.
Ucatil throws it right back. And Preble's going to take the football back down around the 40-yard line.
Well, Preble led their conference in interceptions this year with 15 interceptions.
And Casey Nelson stepped right in front of that one. And
That was just, I mean, well, I don't know who he was throwing it to, but I didn't see any blue jerseys anywhere near that.
Raiders found a lot of wide open receivers on the previous drive, but to me, this football team is capable of just running the football right down the faces of
And that interception was by a linebacker who dropped into coverage.
Yep. So Preble with their best starting field position of the night at the 41-yard line. They're going to hand it off on the sweep going around the far side and cut down by a host of Raiders over there.
Like Holden Tim was right there chasing it down from the backside.
Tim and John Cryer pulls down Logan and give him a short loss. Going to set up 2nd and 11. Really, it looked like the play was there. I think if he would have cut that football up, he may have been able to get at least some positive yardage. Just kept taking it wide and just ran out of real estate over there. 2nd and
He's
long.
lined up off sides. The wide receiver is lined up. He's lined up off sides. Isn't he lined up off sides? Am I seeing things?
Awfully close, that's for sure. Van Boxel stepping up, throwing, incomplete.
Van Boxel's pass incomplete. Intended for number 5, Logan Griot.
Looking out there for Logan Giroux, and will be incomplete. 3rd and long coming up. I think this is a spot. I mean, we'll see what they end up with here in 3rd down, but if there's a 4th down here and you're Green Bay Preble, I think you need to go.
Well, with 4 minutes left to go in the half, and but you're only down by 1 score. I don't know if you really want to give Raider offense another opportunity here, especially with a short field.
3rd and long, empty backfield for Van Boxel,
There's the inside receivers wide open.
and it's intercepted.
Yeah, picked off by Ryder. That's not what he was trying to do, I don't think.
Ryder basically standing about 5 yards away from him, and he just threw it right to him.
That's a hard one to catch, really.
It is, because it had some mustard on it, but it hit him right between the 4 and the 4. 1st and 10 for the Raiders on the 46-yard line. They lead it 12-3. 4 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. Dayton Diemel takes it into Green Bay Preble territory. Gain of around 8 will set up 2nd and 2.
With the way the Raiders run their offense, they got all the time in the world. Just let's have a nice sustained drive, go down and get some points.
Give it to Diemel again. Diemel has the 1st down. Stops the clock momentarily.
Just keep moving the chains.
3:43 to go. They'll stop the chains, stop the clock as they move the chains. Raiders are used to running the hurry-up offense. It's kind of their MO, so clock just starts again. Ucatil right under center. Send Marvin in motion, and Ucatil ready to throw, but in trouble, under pressure, and runs away from it, and it's going to be a game, but there is a flag down.
We got a flag down the backfield. I think there's going to be a hold.
So Ucatil gains around 6 or 7 yards. Let's check on the flag.
I got to believe it's going to be defensive holding where it's thrown.
Could be any number of things. Could be offensive holding, could be man downfield. Nope, could be a defensive hold. Joel Eby, the man on the spot.
Yeah, it looked like the receiver that he was going for that you could look for right away was kind of got spun around. And no, I don't know if that's an automatic first down or not, but if it is, you take the penalty. Otherwise, you're going to have a second and you want 2nd and 4, or do you want? Well, either way you take the penalty, it's 1st and 5. It's either be 1st and 5 or 1st and 10 at the 38.
Talking over the options right now.
Oh, they're going to mark it off from the end of the run. I should maybe get a rule book and read it.
So they're going to mark 10 yards from the end of the run. So it will be a first down for the Raiders and a gain of basically 16 on the play. So
you watch the games every Sunday. You watch and you see the calls they make. And you think you got a pretty good grasp of the rules, and then you come to a high school game and the rules are significantly different in some areas.
So they'll mark it about the 31-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Raiders, 3:25 to play. And they will give it to Trapiccio. Trapiccio fighting for extra yards. Going to pick up around 4 on the carry. Second and a long 6 now coming up for Hudson. First carry of the night for Trapiccio. And they're going to give to Diemel this time. And Diemel looks to have 2 or 3.
We got a flag. I don't know what that's going to be. I got a feeling this one, the Raiders aren't going to be so lucky on this one.
Came in there late. Let's see what the boys in stripes say happened there.
Personal foul.
Yep.
Against the Raiders.
Well, that's a tough one. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty, and we're going to be looking at.
That's a drive killer there.
Yeah, we're looking at around 3rd and maybe 3 or 4. Now you're going to be sitting 2nd and a lot.
That's 2nd and 22 now.
This really is 4-down territory for Hudson, though. If you can get 7-8 yards here, make it manageable for the last 2 plays. You can get positive yardage, this is for sure 4-down territory. 2nd down and 21 here for Hudson.
Like, you could tell he's trying to stretch out his right arm there. I don't know what if it fell out funny or. I think you're going to see, you could tell, throw for it here.
2nd and very long.
Running out of time.
And that's delay. No, the Raiders get a timeout.
Calls time. I think I was smart because I think the play clock was running out, and I don't think you could tell would have gotten that call, would have got that play off.
Looked like there was some confusion, and you got the timeouts. You might as well use them.
Yep, they don't do you any good after the half.
The Raiders will get a chance to talk it over, and I think it's really not a bad spot to have a timeout. You got 3 big plays more than likely here coming up.
Well, which really was an uneventful first quarter, and really first half of the second quarter turned into be 3 interceptions and a couple of personal foul penalties. It's,
hey, Hudson Raider football is the best drama on the River Channel, Joel.
Well, what looked like it was going to be pretty much at least a for sure scoring opportunity for the Raiders now is really in doubt with 2nd and 22.
Raiders go with a 3-receiver set. Ucatil from the pistol will send Marvin in motion. Set to throw. Marvin gets a chip. They get it to Wiesmeyer. Wiesmeyer cuts it back, waiting for some more blocks. Still on his feet. Across the 20 to the 10. Taken out at the 4 or 5 yard line.
The official's down. The official threw the best block on that play.
And the official's still down.
Yeah, he had three Green Bay Preble players went down on him.
And the Preble, all the players are, it doesn't look good. And when the players are surrounding the official and worrying about how he's doing, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, he like I said, he threw the best block of the play there. Hopefully he's not hurt too bad.
Wiesmeyer caught the football heading to the far side of the field, cut it back, and had all kinds of room to the near side. And
that's a play we haven't seen a lot of from the Raiders, is that middle screen, a screen of any type. Worked to perfection there.
We see that play run against us quite often and quite effectively, and it's nice to see us take a page out of that playbook.
Well, I think one thing that helps too is when your pass rush is getting stymied most of the night, and then they do get all of a sudden they see that quarterback, they got that opportunity. They're very reluctant to lay off and maybe follow the blocker. They're going to try to get that quarterback, and that instance, by the time they got turned around and the ball was already gone, and
official's up on his feet. Still looks to be a bit shaken up, but he has come to his feet.
Looks like he's okay. Yeah. Wiesmeyer ran the ball out of bounds.
To keep an eye on how he throws flags the rest of the night.
Which was that the head ref too? Was that
no.
That was I thought that was the back judge, wasn't it?
Yep, back judge. So 1st and goal from the 3-yard line now for the Raiders after the long pass and catch. A lot of yards after the catch on that one from Henrik Wiesmeyer. Raiders in business, 2:15 to play here in the second quarter. Raiders trying to add to a 12-3 lead.
I think you're going to see a big dose of Dayton Dimmel.
Ucatil will reset the offense. And they're going to give to Diemel. Diemel into the end zone. Touchdown, Hudson. That one's about as easy as they come. Diemel's into the end zone before anybody in a white shirt laid a hand on him. And the Raiders have stretched the lead to 18-3.
And it looks like they're going to go for 2 here. I see no indication that anybody's coming out to try to attempt a kick.
Ucatil will stay on the field with the rest of the offense. And they're going to pitch it to the near side, and Homie's in there. The 2-point conversion is good, and the Raiders.
Is that Carranza?
Will make it 20-3. So 2:11 to go. The Raiders now lead by 17, and really with 2:11 to go, their job mainly just to keep Preble from getting any kind of momentum, as Preble will return the opening kickoff of the second half.
That was Tanner Homey on the. Did you catch that?
I think that's what I called. I think the PA announcer called it incorrectly.
Yeah.
I think I got it right. I hope. If
I
not,
thought it was Carranza myself. I saw the numbers and I thought it was Carranza, and then I didn't with all the noise. I didn't hear what you'd said, but I wanted to make sure that he got credit for it.
But Homey is kind of taken over a more expanded role here as well. It looks like they've taken Marvin off the kickoff return team, and Homey and Nick Holm, the 2 deep men. And one thing I've also noticed here, and haven't got a chance to mention it yet, is we've talked about Christian Bell. He was hurt last week playing defense against Eau Claire North, not kicking tonight, but he is out there on defense. I've seen him out there. So he did it. It looked like an ankle injury last week, so probably some problem with the plant foot, but he is playing defense tonight. Squib kick to be picked up around the 20-yard line, and Preble will start this drive from the 34.
Well, 2 minutes and 6 seconds. They got all 3 of their timeouts. They got a chance to try to mount a drive here if they want to, if they so choose to try to air it out against this Raider defense. Last thing you want to do is make a big mistake here, though, and turn it over and give the Raiders another chance to put up more points.
Van Boxel with 2 interceptions so far this evening. Raiders able to capitalize on one of them. Set to throw again here in first down. And it's going to be caught. Flag flies, and I'm guessing the Raiders are going to get hit here for
I don't.
Trainer.
It was away from the. Look like he threw it away from the play. The receiver who caught the ball. So I don't know if they had a hold on a different receiver or what the penalty's going to be.
It's on Hudson. Looked to be a personal foul call to me.
I don't get it. No, they're marking that for the original line of scrimmage.
Holding against the Raiders.
Now it's going to be a hold.
First down.
Yeah, it must have been on that
Defensive
inside
holding.
receiver. Must have.
So Preble with the 1st and 10 at their own 45. 2:01 to play here in the first half. Send a man in motion. It's a low snap. And
Keep him in bounds. There you go.
pass is going to be caught by Logan Giro. Gained of around 3, but as Joel said, caught inbounds and clock rolling now, under a minute and a half to go. The clock is the Raiders' friend at this point. Van Boxel fires. Gets his man. He's out of bounds, though.
That doesn't make it, a 2-yard completion. I guess you did stop the clock, but.
Randy Bilchek with the catch. Gain of around 3. Got out of bounds. Stops the clock at 1:17 to go here. 3rd down and 5, though, coming up for Preble. Van Boxel knocked down. Ryan Ryder picked it off in the last drive. That time got his hand up there and knocked that pass down. 4th down coming up for Preble, and they will send the punt team onto the field.
Well, let's get a run back here. We haven't had a kick return for a touchdown yet. Seeing the way their last punt went, I'd put him at about the 30.
Wiesmeyer will stand it around his own 20-yard line. And
I think we got a timeout before.
A player basically stepped out from the sidelines, standing on the far side there, right before they snapped the football, which I don't think is even legal. The guy's got to start from the huddle. Number 19 on the far side of the field was standing on the sideline. Then just before they snapped the football, he stepped onto the field.
Are you indicating there may have been some trickeration involved there?
Either trickeration or just somebody forgot their assignment and remembered at the last second. He's in there now. Trainer and Corum over there on the far side of the field, keeping them honest.
Let's get a block here.
Wiesemeyer now standing at his own 23. This one
a much better kick.
Line drive, deep kick. Wiesemeyer called for the fair catch and made it around the 15-yard line.
Well, a minute 9 to go, Chris. If you're the Hudson coaching staff, what are you going to do? You don't get the ball to start the second half, so you
probably just going to knee on the ball, to be honest with you. Leading it 20-3. Good enough for me. They won't do that.
I don't think I would knee on it, but I think I may have some kind of a play that I want to run here.
Pitch to Braden Marvin, and hopefully he can break one. I don't like the run it up the middle thing here.
If you're going to do that, take a knee.
Yeah, either kneel on it or and they will run it up the middle with Demo. I like to kneel or else go for the home run with Braden Marvin around the edge.
As well as number 44, Riley Vanderpool.
But we're not the guy calling the plays tonight. And they'll give the Demo once again, and Demo has a first down.
We have a stoppage now.
Stop the clock momentarily to move the
yeah,
chains
that's
with 42 to go. 42 seconds left in the half. Raiders lead it 20-3. Clock just started. 40 to play. They'll give the Demo again. And
I'd be tempted to stop the clock here, and I'd be tempted to. I don't
well,
know.
if you're not going to stop the clock, there's no point in even running the next play, to be honest with you.
Yeah, why run a play?
15 seconds to go. Second, 8. 9 seconds to go. And 5 seconds to go, and I don't think they're going to
Maybe
play.
you're going to air it out here.
Nope. Give it to Trapecio. Trapecio gets 4 yards, and that will end the first half. So a very dominant first half for the Hudson Raiders, really both defensively and offensively. And the Raiders with a dominating score will go to the halftime, go to the locker room here leading 20-3.
Yeah, other than the one mental lapse on that third down play, Raiders have dominated both sides of the ball. I guess I was hoping things would go this way, and looking at it on paper, I thought there's no reason Hudson shouldn't win this game. But as we've seen this season, the way we think things are going to go isn't always the way they go. So
taking care of business so far, leading it 20-3 at the half. We'll be right back with second half action. Second half about to get underway here. It's a level 1 Division I playoff game here at Newton Field. The Hudson Raiders, the number 2 seed, facing off against Green Bay Preble, the number 7 seed in this portion of the bracket. And the Raiders pretty much controlling the football game so far. 20-3 over Preble.
Yeah, I would say with the Raiders now enjoying a 3-score lead, it's going to be up to Preble. They're going to have to throw the ball. I mean, you mentioned it there at halftime that it doesn't look like that Preble scouted Hudson because they haven't done any of the things that other teams have had success with against Hudson.
Well, let's see if they make any adjustments here based upon what they saw in the first half. The first half really dominated by the Raiders. Kick's going to be picked up at the 2-yard line.
Oh!
And a shoestring tackle there by John Cryer saved what might have been a touchdown.
Raiders looked like that. Corral was going to be inside the 10-yard line. He kind of squirted out, and once he got past that first row of would-be tacklers, it looked like he had some room, and a shoestring tackle saved, I think you're right, saved what could have been a touchdown.
So Preble will start the drive at the 30-yard line.
Well, it looks like they're not in a formation where they're going to try to pass the ball.
They'll pack it in type of Van Boxel from the shotgun, basically. Gives it to Ragnar, and Ragnar's got about a yard.
If you're Hudson, you guys are going to love that. Let's do that 2 more times and punt.
Let them run for a yard all night long. The clock is your friend if you're the Hudson Raiders, and if they're happy with a yard or 2 of play, we'll take it.
Christian Bell just came off the field. Looks like he's trying to adjust something in one of his shoes. I don't know if he's.
Preble will spread it out now. And Boxel all alone. And it went through the fingertips of his receiver. And that will set up a 3rd and long.
There we go. The receiver was open.
The 3rd and 9 coming up. Now Lucas Trainer comes off the field. No, just to get some instruction.
Say you better not come off the field. That'll leave him with 10.
Preble will go with 3 receivers to the near side. And Van Boxel fires to a very open receiver, Logan Giro, and that will be a first down. Trainer over there on the tackle, but flying in there about a second too late.
It would have been nice if there had been somebody over there in the coverage.
So 1st and 10 now for Preble. 42-yard line. Van Boxel will go under center. And we'll hand it off to Columba.
Ryan Reeder sniffed that one out and made a nice tackle in the backfield.
Ryder definitely having the game of his season tonight. Interception and a host of TFLs.
We saw those flashes from him last year. You really expected him to step up and be a leader on this defense. And tonight he's definitely showing the ability to do that.
2nd and long now. 2nd and 11 coming up for the Hornets. And this time it's Holden
Tim on the other side.
And Preble just has not been able to run the football tonight against this Raider defense. Lost 2 on that play, and 3rd and 13 coming up.
Yeah, you better be ready to throw the ball 30 times here in the next.
Raiders were able to get some pretty good pressure in the first half, and that one throw that Van Boxel's had to start here, he had all day. Hudson leads it 20-3. 3rd down and 13 for Green Bay Preble. Van Boxel.
There's a
intercepted. Jake Niederhauser elevated and pulling it down, and it's first down for Hudson on the Green Bay Preble side of the football field. They'll mark it at the 44.
Well, maybe that's why they don't want to throw too much.
It's the 3rd interception of the night for Van Boxel, and you had mentioned that Green Bay Preble led the Fox Valley Classic conference in interceptions, but they've thrown their share tonight.
Yeah, and they threw their share during the regular season too, but I thought 15 was a pretty high, outstandingly high number for a defense.
Ucatil sets up the Raider offense at the 44. Marvin in motion. They'll give it to Demo, and Demo's going to have, still on his feet, going to have about 6 yards. Look to be stopped for a gain of around 4 and kind of ground out an extra 2 there.
And that's what I like about Dayton Demo when he falls forward.
Nick Holm will come in now.
Demo looks like he's having a little problem with his face mask or a little equipment issue.
And Ucatil will keep it, give it to Braden Marvin. Marvin,
He's got
lots
some
of room.
He's got some sink.
Stiff arm, and he's taken down at around the 12-yard line. 1st and 10, deep into Preble territory coming up for Hudson.
Well, it looks like they stopped the clock.
Gain of 27 yards.
We got a timeout, or is there a flag? Oh yeah, we got a flag on this side, on the near side of the field here. It's gonna be how was it gonna be on the? It's got to be a penalty on the sideline.
It's in that neighborhood.
Well, I don't get it. Well,
I don't know. I believe it's a warning the first time, so I'm sure no harm there, but the fellas on the sidelines got to stay back.
Now, I like to know what the call was. It on the coaching staff, or was it on the players getting off on the field? My guess is the players.
So 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line for the Raiders. Pickup of 26 yards for Braden Marvin on that run. And this time they're going to pitch it to Homey. Homey taking his time, stepping over a defender. It's going to be a pickup of around 4.
Oh, now we got another flag.
Homie on the carry, flag on the play.
I don't know what suit this is going to be on. Another flag. This one looks like, according to the demeanor of the Hudson team, looks like it's going to go against Preble.
Hudson players.
Dead ball, personal foul against Preble. So things are starting to get a little frustrating down there on the field, I got to believe.
It's going to be a first down, and they'll go half the distance, and that should take the first down markers off of the field. Should be first and goal coming up, and I think they're going to pull those distance markers down.
I think they ought to just step it off into the end zone and give him a touchdown.
Now that would be a new playbook or a new rules book.
They're going to mark it at the 3-yard line. What? Now they're saying it's against what? I think he pointed the wrong way. He pointed his signal was against Hudson, but it obviously was not against Hudson.
Well, they have it as second down. They're still marking it as second down, though. They gave him the yardage. Not sure what's, I don't know, second down, and they're keeping the distance markers out there. So second down at about 3 from the 4-yard line. They run Marvin in motion, gives it Nick Holm, and Holm is going to be.
He should have enough for the first down, though. If
I think he might be a little short. See where they mark it.
First down.
Yep, they give him a first down. So first and, well, I don't know.
The yardage markers still show third down.
The PA announcers called it a first down, but who knows? There's a lot of confusion out on the field right now. They're trying to figure out what down it is. PA announcer says first down. The sticks say third down, and the officials are trying to sort it out.
Well, and by stopping it, it gave Green Bay a chance to add some beef to their defensive line. That's got to be. Looking at the ball, it's on the it's at the 1-yard line.
So it looks like third down in inches from the 1-yard line.
Well, they're going to measure.
Now they're going to bring the sticks out.
They're going to come on and measure. I think it's a first down.
Well, it's been interesting and fun to speculate at least. It's going to be really close.
Oh, inches. What do you think they're going to call? Although Dibble's not in there.
You're going to get Nick Holm, inside tackle to the right, touchdown Hudson.
Gonna run. You think he might run right behind Wilgren, huh?
Yep.
I do a quarterback sneak.
That would be a good call to play to call, but my money says it's Nick Holm.
There's Holm.
And there it is, and Holm
he got him
into the end zone. Touchdown Raiders.
Say we don't need no stinking first down. We'll just take a touchdown.
So the Raiders extend the lead to 26-3, and they're going to send the kick team back onto the field here to try it again. By the time you're watching this game, the Appleton North game will be over, but at last check, right now during game time, it is Appleton North 16, Eau Claire Memorial 0. And if the Raiders, did he get it?
I think he got it through. Knuckleballed one through.
So it's 27-3 Hudson, and the Raiders are able to hold on for the next 19 minutes and 44 seconds of game time. Appleton North leading Eau Claire Memorial 16-0 over at Appleton North tonight, and it looks like there's a good chance that's who we'll be facing next week. And the WIAA has changed the rules. You know, in the past, that kind of game, we'd probably find ourselves in Chippewa Falls playing them in a neutral site. But we've been told that if the Raiders are able to advance tonight, they will get another home game next week.
That's fine with me. That's just fine. You know, that was really a kind of a critical first or extra point. That does make it. They need to score 3 times and get all 3 2-point conversions tied up.
Correct. Raiders leading now by 24 points at 27-3. And from what we've seen so far of the Preble offense,
Well, they've only scored 3 points in almost in a half and 5 minutes. So I'm not holding out a lot of expectations of them running up 24 points in the next quarter and 7 minutes. But game's not over. A lot of football yet to be played. So sit back and enjoy.
Raiders set to kick. Deep, high kick to be fielded at the 10-yard line. And mowed down at the 20. TJ Corona came running up there with a head of steam and was sent backwards in a hurry.
I don't know,
Andy Johnson
I
and
don't know
Tom
who number
Geisler.
70 is, but number 70 was the guy that was in the back, was busted up the wedge, and he looked to me. I can't read
Madison
who it is.
Davis,
Addison.
that's your guy. So Preble will start from the 22-yard line. Van Boxel under center.
It's good to see those offensive linemen getting a chance to make a tackle once in a while.
And ball's on the ground. I think Preble picked it up, but Ragnar put the pill on the green carpet there, and Raiders had an opportunity. Either way.
Motu made a nice tackle for, I think it was Motu.
Preble with no gain on the play, sets up 2nd and 10. Just under 7 minutes to play in the third quarter. Hudson Raiders lead it 27-3. And Van Boxel able to complete a pass.
So we might have an injured player now.
Gets it out there to Nathan Prevost.
Yep, somebody's not hurt. It's a Raider.
Raider player on the ground.
Yep.
3rd and 1 coming up.
I didn't get a number. It was
I think it's Motu. Well,
no,
Motu's
it's not
on
Motu.
his feet.
It's a number in the teens, I believe. I don't know if he's got the wind knocked out of him, or. But I tell you, these players come in and they try, they making the big blow-up play by lowering their shoulder, and sometimes you're the hammer and sometimes you're the nail.
Clock stopped right now at 6:39.
Who knows, too?
Lucas
23,
Traynor.
Lucas Traynor. Well, Lucas Trainor's playing a little banged up. I think that might be all for him tonight.
Yeah, he's missed the last few games, and really where the score is at this point, really not much reason to keep him out there any longer this evening.
Nope. Nope. I would say your night is done, Mr. Trainer. Give me your helmet. You can just take a seat and watch. Done your job.
So 3rd and 1 now coming up for Preble. Clock has restarted. 6.5 to go in the third quarter. And whistles blows a timeout for Green Bay Preble. So they use their first timeout here. 3rd and 1. And this is a spot where if they don't convert, not sure what you do. I mean, if you're going to think you're going to get back into this game, at this point you're not playing for seeding or anything else.
It's your last game of the season if you lose, so you got to pull out all the stops here. But, you'd hope that your offense can muster up the determination to get a yard here.
Preble has really struggled to get that on some of these run plays tonight. The Raiders have stopped them for no gain or negative yardage on several running plays tonight.
Yeah, I got to believe that, half of their running plays have been for negative yards. Green Bay Preble's a school. I think their enrollment's about 1680, 1670, somewhere right in there. So it's a comparable size school to Hudson. Obviously, being in Green Bay, they have a larger population to draw from.
So they will run it up the middle, and I think he's got it in the second effort. Ragnar looked to be stopped initially, but able to spin out of a tackle and get enough to move the chains.
John Locknow on the tackle. That is a Hornets first down. First and 10 for the Hornets. Balls on the
First and 10 now out to the 33-yard line. They go 4 receivers. And Van Boxel will throw it over the middle. Broken up by Xander Motu.
Motu looked like he had some designs on an interception there, but couldn't quite reel it in. Those interceptions like that, they get to be contagious. When you see one guy get one, everybody else wants one. And now there's been 3 of them. It's like, when's my turn going to be?
There's blood in the water.
Yep, exactly.
Second and 10. Send a man in motion. It's Giro. And Van Boxel's going to throw deep for Giro.
Oh,
and Giro is going to take it down inside the 20. Christian Bell had the coverage and
Christian
fell
Bell
down.
fell down. That was.
So Giro has.
Well, I think that's more yards than that one play they've gotten all night.
Green Bay Preble down to the 16-yard line. Second time down inside the red zone for Preble. They were able to get down there in their second drive of the evening and came away with 3 points.
No, Trainer's back in there. So I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. Even if you give up a touchdown here, who cares?
Trainer playing the corner on the near side. They're going to run it with Ragnar, and Ragnar is cut down over there. John Cryer came in and took Ragnar down a yard behind the line of scrimmage.
And Holden Tim was right on his heels.
Now Christian Bell will come off the field. Second and 11. Van Boxel from the shotgun will send Giro in motion. Is going to throw it out to him. Giro gets a block, but he's taken down by Trainer after a gain of around, call it 6.
Boy, I don't know. That's a pretty generous spot there, giving him the ball inside the 15.
They'll give him 5. Third and 7
Boy,
coming up.
Well, I would assume if you're Green Bay, you're not going to go for a field goal here.
Third and 7. Van Boxel under pressure. Van Boxel is going to go down. A host of Raiders over there, including Joe Geisler. First man there to pull down Van Boxel, and it's going to be 4th down and about 14.
Motu in there looks like he's getting to a little John with some of the Preble players, which that's not what you want to have happen. Last thing you need to do is get a
free first down.
Sportsmanlike conduct penalty here.
Yeah. It's one thing to get it after a guy already gets a first down, but when you get him in 4th down, that's not the spot to get it.
No.
So Preble will call timeout, 4th and 14, and this is kind of really, if you're going to get back into this game, you got to do it here, and if you don't get it, it's pretty much over.
Yeah, Hudson, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. They're probably not going to give this up. Going to get the ball back here deep in their own territory. Be nice for a nice long drive. Use up the rest of this quarter and part of the next one. And
that's a pretty generous benefit of the doubt. 4th and 14 coming up. I mean, obviously.
Well, how many times have we seen it in the past? And I'm not talking about this year, but years past, where Hudson has them in a situation you think where they can't go wrong, and all of a sudden, boom, they pull a rabbit out of their hat, and next thing you know, they got it 1st and goal at the 5.
4th and 14.
I'm really kind of surprised at how small some of the Preble players are. They got some big boys out there, but they got some guys too that look like they're on. I don't think they could make Hudson's freshman team.
Ball spotted at the 20-yard line. Preble needs to get to the 6.
Going to throw it to the far side of the field.
Van Boxel. They're going to throw it to the far side of the field, and it's going to be incomplete. Coverage over there by John Cryer. And the Raider offense will come back onto the field. And that's a big stop for the Hudson Raider defense. Preble was able to take it deep into Raider territory on that long pass, and Hudson turns them away with no points.
And really, the best two plays Preble's had, the only two really good plays, were both situations. One where it was a mental error on the Raiders, and the other time was just a physical, unfortunately the quarterback fell down and left the receiver wide open. And it looked almost like their feet got tangled up a little bit.
So John Ucatil and the offense will come back out. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. 4:36 to go in the third quarter. Raiders lead it 27-3. And I think the Raiders moved.
I don't know. I don't know if the Raiders, they're going to call them the Raiders, or it looked like Green Bay also jumped. It might have been in the neutral zone. Oh yeah, see they're pointing, and they're gonna mark it off against Green Bay.
Yep. Well, encroachment on Preble, and that will give the Raiders a free 5 yards. It's the second encroachment of the evening for the Hornets.
1st and 5 for the Raiders, ball to the 25.
Carranza will come out. Yuri Bronson in there as the wingback on the far side of the field.
Spencer Ryberg checks in at halfback.
And they're going to give it to Bronson. Bronson's going to pick up about 3 yards. He'll set up a 2nd and short. Carranza back into the game now.
Oh, no wonder. I'm looking at the Green Bay Preble roster.
2nd and short now for Hudson.
I'm looking for these numbers. I'm like, that's not who that is.
Ucatil resets the offense. Braden Marvin in motion. They'll give to Dayton Demo, and Demo's going to be stopped short of the first down. 3rd down and about a foot coming up.
It's going to be close. They're going to stop. It looks like they're going to stop for a measurement.
That first down.
Oh, they do give him a first down.
Got it by the nose of the football. So 1st and 10 for Hudson at the 30 now.
It's hard enough keeping track of these players. If you don't have the right roster in front of you, it's really difficult.
Like, I don't recognize any of these guys. And the folks at Preble provided a roster tonight with the last names first, too, so that's been a little bit of a challenge this evening as well.
Parker Johns checks into the offensive line for Hudson now.
Give it to Demel again. Demel stopped after a short gain. Gain of 1 for Demel. Clock under 3 minutes now to go in the third quarter. Hudson with a 24-point lead. Opening round of the WIA Division I playoffs, and Demel again He's had some big holes tonight, but in the last 2 plays, he's been met by a host of white jerseys. Still picked up about 3 yards on the play, 3rd and 5 coming up.
3rd and 5, balls up to the 35-yard line.
Raiders really at this point trying to run some clock.
Raiders in a rare passing formation.
Madison Davis checks in. And Ucatil back to throw. Looks like they're going to run that screen to Braden Marvin. And Marvin
Oh, we got a flag.
stop, but a flag comes flying in there.
I don't know. We're going to have a hold, or I got to believe if you're Green Bay, you're going to decline this and make it 4th that you lost yards on it.
The Hudson Raiders have had some success running the screen tonight, but that one there was almost telegraphed. Preble knew that was coming and had no chance.
Well, we're going to see Hudson punt for the first time tonight. It's always a good sign when there's a minute 55 left in the 3rd quarter and you're on your first punt.
I could have made it through the whole game without a punt personally. But
Yeah.
clock ticking. 1:50 to play in the 3rd quarter. Trapecio on to punt this away. First punt of the evening for Hudson, as Joel alluded to.
Snap's
And
good.
Trapecio with a
high.
short kick. Lands at the 50. He's going to take a Raider bounce. And will be downed at the 37-yard line.
The only thing could have been better with that punt is if it would have hit a Preble player and Hudson would have fallen on it. They got as much on the bounce and roll as they did on the flight of the punt.
I don't think that's a bad play, because if you can make sure that the other team doesn't get to return the punt, you don't need a whole lot of yards if you don't give up a return.
Yep, you're right.
So Preble will come out at their own 37, 1:28 to play in the 3rd quarter, trailing 27-3 to the Hudson Raiders. And again, level 1 of the playoffs, you lose, you're out.
Oh, we got a flag.
Run the old flea
flicker.
flicker, and they've
Wide
got their
open.
man wide open.
I think this is going to come back, though. I think we had a formation or we had a motion penalty or something. It's coming back.
Got to Logan Guerrero on the old flicker, but this one's going to come back.
You know, we've seen that now. That's the 2nd time where, a receiver's gotten behind the defense on a play. And that's an undisciplined defense. You can't, it's hard to win games at this stage of the season if your secondary is not going to play back. You got to rely on your linebackers and rely on your defensive linemen to make those tackles.
And it's not even like they haven't done it tonight. It'd be one thing if you were giving up some big runs and the secondary felt like they needed to help out, but they haven't needed any help tonight.
Do your job. Your job is to cover the wide receiver.
So 5-yard penalty will negate the pass play and make it 1st and 15. 1:10 to go in the 3rd quarter.
That was a 30-yard pass play.
Van Boxel from the shotgun once again. Looking to throw. He's going to throw it over the middle, incomplete. Cryer in there in the coverage. 2nd and very long coming up. Raiders appear to be able to move on tonight, leading by 24 with 13 minutes to go in this game. And they will play the winner of Eau Claire Memorial and Appleton North next week, unless something miraculous occurs here for Green Bay Preble.
I felt really good about Memorial's chances about winning that game, and I don't know.
At last check, North was leading 16-0 over Memorial. And this time they'll throw it deep downfield again.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That's a whatever. Yeah, that's a terrible call. Finally makes a good defensive play and you call pass interference on it.
Incomplete, but there is an interference call.
That's ridiculous.
That will give Green Bay Preble a first down. Or will it? Is it a 10-yard penalty? It's a 10-yarder. See, these guys going to talk it over as well, and they're the officials.
I think that was the official that got knocked over, too, that threw that flag.
Looks like it's going to be first down.
I don't know.
Stop it just shy.
I don't know. I mean, fourth, they said first, they're giving them a first down. That, I guess as you go on, you think the officiating get a little better, but I guess not.
Fresh set of downs. First and 10. Out to the 47-yard line.
Get a pick here. Receiver never looked for the ball.
Through
wide
the hands
open.
of
the running back, number
Columbia.
22, was wide open, running along the far sideline. And
he even had to look down at his hands. Yep, they're still on there.
Quarterback
he hasn't gotten a lot of help tonight.
No, and he paid a price for that pass.
Second and 10 now. Van Boxel moving out of the pocket, looking downfield. Now he's going to tuck it in and run it. Gets across the 50, forced out of bounds. Going to be around the 45-yard line. Going to be short of the first down by about 2 or 3 yards.
I think that's the first run by Van Boxel tonight.
Third and about 2.5 coming up for Green Bay. 40 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Hudson leads at 27-3. And Boxel steps up, and now he's going to throw across the field, incomplete. Looking for the fullback, Prevost. It'll bring up a fourth down, and they're definitely going for it here.
And I disagree with that call. You need to get a first down in that situation. By throwing an incomplete pass, now you've really brought into play the possibility of turning the ball over on downs. And I tell you, though, Green Bay, since they've taken over possession, have really not run off much clock.
Throwing it around. They've taken it out of bounds a couple times. Fourth down and a long 2 yards here for Green Bay Preble. Van Boxel sets. Taking it out of the pocket and will throw it. It's going to be picked off. Joe Sekulu picks off the tip pass, and the Raiders defense holds serve once again. John Ucatil and company will come back onto the field.
You can't tell the kid not to intercept it, but he would have been better off not intercepting it. Would have saved the Raiders, gained the Raiders about 10 yards, but good for him. Got his interception.
Fourth interception of the night tonight for the Raider defense.
Ball was tipped. Johnny on the spot.
So Hudson will come out and start this drive at the 40-yard line.
And I got to believe this is going to be the last play of the third quarter. It's the longest quarter in the history of football.
And they'll give the Diemel up the middle, and Diemel's going to get about 5. Clock rolling, 18 seconds to play in the third quarter. The Raiders don't need to run another play here. But they probably will.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I think Cowles just don't hell.
3 seconds to go. And the Raiders will run another play. It's going to be Diemel up the middle, pushing the pile forward.
He's got the first down.
And he's got the first down. Looked to be stopped about 2 or 3 yards short, but kid just doesn't stop running, and I believe he has the first down. They will give him the first down, and that will end the third quarter. So at the end of 3, it's Hudson 27 and Green Bay Preble 3.
The ironic thing about that ball, when they spotted that ball, they're not really even going to have to move the ball to start the fourth quarter because it was right on the 50-yard line.
Move it about a foot. That's about it. So the Raiders will start the fourth quarter at midfield, and it's been a really dominant performance tonight by the Hudson Raiders. And I hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. We got another quarter of football, but if you like the broadcast, please help support our broadcast of Hudson Raider football by buying DVDs. You can get them in a season box set, which makes an awesome gift for under the tree for your Hudson Raider football player. Or you can get them on a per game basis as well. So if you just have a game that maybe your son or daughter had your son had a breakout game and just want to get that one game, you can do that as well. You can call us at 715-386-0115, or you can email us info@riverchannel.org.
So with the ball just nosing into Green Bay Preble territory, Hudson has 12 minutes to wrap this thing up.
And get ready for next week. Raiders will face the winner of Appleton North and Eau Claire Memorial, and it will be back here on this field. Ucatil throwing it and incomplete, looking for Trapiccio.
Trapiccio had his man beat. He was open. Why Hudson's throwing it, I have no idea.
It's kind of interesting. Last week, the Raiders' second-team offense came on against Eau Claire North and just moved the ball right down the field. Got down to the 2-yard line. It was like, are they going to score or are they going to knee it? They had a couple minutes, and they ended up just basically giving the ball back to Eau Claire North. It was one of those sportsmanship moments by the Raiders, and it's kind of interesting to see him throwing it here in this situation. And Ucatil's going to get wrapped up.
Ucatil did not should have handed the ball off.
So Ucatil is going to lose a couple yards there, and that'll be third down and about 12 here. And now I think if you think you're going to pick this up, I think you do have to throw it here. Raiders will go from the pistol formation. And Braden Marvin in motion.
All the time in the world.
Going to throw it, and nearly caught, but broken up.
It was nearly caught, nearly picked off.
Looking for Jamison Krause, and that will send the Raider punt team onto the field for the second time tonight.
Ucatil's had all the time in the world to throw the ball. He's just been a little bit off, either a little long or a little short on those passes. Really looked like he only had about one guy downfield there in that play. Not a lot of targets for him to throw it to. Maybe I missed something. Trapiccio to punt. Trapiccio nearly pulls it off the turf. Another high kick. Punt.
And again, not going to be any kind of return on this. Takes a little bit of a Hudson bounce and is going to get down at the 23-yard line. Again, nothing wrong with that.
The only problem is it didn't even take off a minute off the clock.
2 incomplete passes. Not going to take a lot of time off the clock.
I just don't get that why Hudson's throwing the ball when you're up. You know, you have the game firmly in hand. You just want to tick, 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 get out of here and get ready for next week. Maybe there are some things you want to work on, but I think you can also work on those in practice. If anything, maybe get some other players in there. It looks like they got a few fresh faces on defense coming in.
Van Boxel all alone in the backfield and throws it over there for Columbia again, and that's The second time in 2 drives, one right through the hands.
So we got number 11, Alex Shaw, checks in at. Looks like he's playing linebacker. Number 54, Tom Geisler, playing linebacker.
Pretty good crowd here tonight for the Hudson faithful.
Alex Richards, number 9, playing defensive end or some linebacker, looks like. Parker Dardine getting some time at nose tackle.
And this time they'll hand it off. And Columbia's going to get a first down there, a gain of around 15 yards on 2nd and 10. That'll move the chains. Wes Coram makes the tackle.
It's like Sam Kennedy, number 56, checking in at linebacker.
Another new guy coming in right now, Joel.
Dalton Marsky's coming in.
No, this is a 45. Guy that's not on our roster. Sneaking up to the line of scrimmage right now. And they're going to hand it off again. And it's going to be Regner with the carry. Gain of around 15 once again. So
Mitch Swanson, number 31.
This Preble team hasn't been able to run the football pretty much all night long on the first team Raider defense. Second team Raider defense in there now. And they've basically peeled off a couple of big runs here.
Tanner Homey getting a chance to play some corner here on the near side of the field.
And they'll hand it off again to Regner.
Oh, nice. That's
cut down by Motu.
Xander Motu with a nice tackle. We got a flag down. I don't know what we're going to have, but it was on the far side of the field away from the play. Officials feeling the need to inject themselves in the game.
A hold.
So it's going to be a hold. It's going to push them back. I got to believe the Raiders will take that penalty and make it 1st and 20.
The tackle by Motu really could have set up around 2nd and 10, which isn't bad either, but you got to take the 10 yards and a 10-yard penalty. And Hudson will push him back.
Talking over with Ryan Reeder, he decides to push him back. Which I think is.
Parker Dardine checking in now. Junior defensive lineman. Saw him walk in, I almost said Lonnie Meinke. Van Boxel looking to throw, pulls it back down. Now he's in trouble.
Oh, that was ripe for getting picked.
Big hit delivered there by Joe Geisler.
Oh, flag thrown way in the backfield. Refs, of course, they got to get their time in. That's, I think, pretty much guarantee this one's going to go against the Raiders.
Yep. Call a hold on Hudson this time.
Well, that gives them back the offensive holding penalty. Still going to be 1st down. So after all that, we're right back to where we started.
So they bring the football out to the 44, and it's 1st and 9.
We've still only played 2 minutes of this 4th quarter.
9:55 to go. And Van Boxel will hand it off, and Elliot Motu trying to strip that football out of there, and it's Regner.
Sammy Schwartz checking in. Get some more playing time.
Xander Motu, not Elliott Motu. That's another.
You know, when you watch these kids play, and there's families, there's
It's
brothers,
been a lot of years.
It's just, you know, it's like you get names ingrained in your head, and it's hard to.
Seen a lot of
separate it
different guys wear these numbers now. So second down and about 6 coming up.
Now what do we got? Delay game. Well, I kind of thought earlier that delaying, slowing the game down, and trying to take as much time off the clock as you could would come back to haunt them. But I didn't think it would haunt them when they were trying to hurry up and run plays.
Yeah, that's not the spot where you want to take your time there. So backs him up 5 yards, turns a 2nd and 6 into a 2nd and 11.
And the longest quarter in history continues.
Van Boxel under center. Send a man in motion. And is going to hand it off to Regner, and Regner yanked down there.
Sammy Schwartz with the tackle.
Sammy Schwartz, junior defensive lineman. Maybe a little
Expecting
preview of
big
what's
things
to
from him
come.
next year. He's only 5'8". It'd be nice if he could grow a couple inches.
3rd down and 12 now for Preble. Van Boxel set to throw, and that one's going to be incomplete. Miscommunication there.
Not on the same page with the receiver on that play.
One zigged, the other zagged, and it's incomplete, and 4th down coming up, and Preble has officially waved the white flag, it appears. They've sent the punt team onto the field. I guess if you're going to go for a fake, this is a good spot, but if you're going to go for it on 4th down, I think I just leave my offense in. I'm guessing they're going to kick this away. They do. And it's going to be a line drive. Punt down at around the 8-yard line. Tanner Homey over there, but tried to get away from it, and then I think he realized maybe he shouldn't have got away from it.
I think he had thoughts of trying to pick that up there in the last second, and, well, you know, you don't need to.
No. Bring the offense out, run the football. Maybe a steady dose of Dayton Diemel and Nick Holm, and they'll bring in.
Well, they're bringing out the first-string offensive line here.
They do have Dom in the backfield, though. Dom's out there. Dom had a nice run last week against Eau Claire North in mop-up duty. Charlie Richards going to be running the offense. Looks like Braden Marvin stayed in the game, though. And they're going to give it to Braden Marvin. Marvin spins out of the tackle and brings it out to across the 20-yard line. Give the Raiders a 1st down and some breathing room there. Kind of interesting, the Raiders left most of the first-team offensive line out there and left Braden Marvin out there. Weissmeyer's out there. But pretty much everybody else swapped out.
Yeah, I got a feeling they're going to get ready to swap in some second-string offensive linemen here and just maybe get the ball a little bit out of their own end zone.
And Dom pushing forward. Little sophomore running back, and he's got some power in those legs. He's going to be a fun guy to watch here another year or two.
Well, Dimmel, he is a senior, so it'll be
give it to Dom again. This time,
Dom Sikameko.
not much going there.
Sikameko on the carry. And about one on that brings up third down and
And they did get Dom on the program. Hasn't been on the program so far this year. He's on there now. Dom Sitambeko,
on the tackle for the Hornets.
sophomore running back.
Let's get a first down here so we can get some of these second string offensive linemen out there.
And they give it to Braden Marvin. Marvin
He's
is going to
gonna
be
have the first
close
down,
to
I
a first
believe.
down. Looks like he got it.
Maybe not. Ooh, depends on where they spot it. Depends on where they spot it. The official on the far side, I think, has got the first down. They're going to give him a first down.
Nick Holm is probably going to be that that fullback next year, but
Yeah, and here we go. They got the. I think the only one that's still out there, Grant Mara, is still out there. Looks like it's center. Andy Johnson. They looks like they got.
they've brought Nick Holm now in to play the fullback. Holm's a junior, and he's probably going to get the bulk of the carries next year if he
we got
continues
Wilgren's out
to
of there
play
now.
where he's at now.
3 or 4 on that brings up second and 6.
So we got Wilgren out of there. That's the only offensive lineman they've taken off. And that's
Braden Marvin comes out of the game, as well as Nick Holm. Under 6 minutes to play now. Charlie Richards running the offense for the Raiders. Mop up roll. They give to Sitambeko. Sitambeko battling for yards. He's got, looks to be about 3 to set up a third and short. Call it third and about 2 coming up for Hudson.
And a long 2. Ball's on the 41-yard line.
Richards
Wide.
surveys the defense. And they'll get him Sitambeko, and Sitambeko's got the first down. Out to the 50, and a fresh set of downs for Hudson. Now the Raiders will make some wholesale changes.
and they just Preble sold out so much for the center run on that. I'm really surprised that Hudson was able to get that running right up the middle like that. But
Gerald Rosowski on the tackle.
Looks like the Raiders have brought some young guys in on the offensive line because they don't look very big.
they don't look very big in there. Don't look very dirty. It's one thing when you play on these natural grass fields, you can always tell the guys that are playing a lot, is they do get dirty.
So 1st and 10 now for Hudson. And Richards is going to hand it off to
They, they're giving up some size on the offensive line right now to that defense of Preble.
Ryan McDevitt, a junior running back. First carry of the season. Getting some new guys in the game here. Nice to see some guys get an opportunity to play in a playoff game.
Yep. Something they'll never forget.
Charlie Richards under center. And hand it off to Nick Holm. Flags fly, and the Raiders going to get backed up 5 yards.
You know, Preble doesn't have anybody with more than 5 yards away from the ball at the snap. I would maybe throw it. Just to say, you know what? We're just trying to run out the ball, run it out here. We got our second and third string guys in here. I mean, you look at their defensive line right now compared to Hudson's offensive line.
Preble does not have anyone deeper than 4 yards off the line of scrimmage right now.
I'd air it out.
Richards is going to keep it. Breaks out of a tackle and is going to pick up about 5.
He got the 5 yards back that he lost. Well, here comes a whole new group of offensive linemen now.
And these are guys we haven't seen all season, so.
I can't even try to look up their numbers because I feel bad for the parents because I should be announcing them because they want to, you know, they sit here all these games, they go to all the games, they practice as hard as anybody, and
some of these guys aren't on the roster, I can tell you that.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of sophomores I think are suiting up. And
give it to Sidambeko, and he's fighting for some yards. He's going to get a couple.
Dom gets the tough yards.
He does.
He comes in and it's mop-up territory. He's not running behind the first-string offensive line. And
he peeled off about a 30-yarder last week against North. You'll see him spelling Nick Holm next year. He's gonna have some opportunities next season.
No, I don't know why the clock is stopped, but did Green Bay call a timeout? Maybe they did because they have no timeouts left. So
Preble called a timeout, down by 24 points with 2:48 to go. So they're gonna play it to the end, I guess.
Then why would you have punted on that last?
Exactly. So 4th down and 8. And the Raider punt team onto the field.
A disappointed crowd made the trip over here from Green Bay.
It's a long drive. Trapiccio kicks it away.
That's
Another
best
high kick.
punt of the night.
Fair catch called for and made at the 18-yard line.
The most fierce pressure he's faced all night gets the best kick he's had all night.
.241 to go. Hudson leads it 27-3, opening round of the Division I playoffs. Raiders a few minutes away from advancing for the 3rd straight season. Advancing in the first round.
The Raiders snuck somebody onto the field here. I don't know.
And Preble will run it up the middle. That's Regner. 1st and 10.
Spencer Redbird on the carry. Isaac Jardine on the tackle.
Boy, you never get those two kids mixed up. Isaac and Parker Dardine. It's like we got Sammy Truler in there at nose tackle right now.
1st and 10. Van Boxel. Catch made, gain of around 5. Probably a good thing for the Raiders, though. Clock rolls.
Sammy hustling off.
Clock down to
They're running them off
now.
Running them on and off as fast as they can now for Hudson. Trying to get all these kids playing time, which, you know, I got to give the coaches credit for that. It's something you got to do. You know, these kids practice as hard as anybody, and they should get a chance to play.
And handed off to Columby. And he's got a 1st down. Clock stops momentarily at 1:42, but will restart once they place the football. Clock rolling now, 1:35. Raiders trying to close this one out. Get some fresh faces in the game, opportunity to play some football on the varsity level.
There's a hold. Come on.
They're going to throw it downfield.
Oh, he caught it.
He caught it.
Well, that'll be inside the 10, down to the 5-yard line.
Hit TJ Corona inside the 5. Alex going to mark it around the 6, actually. Mark it at the 7. Clock just started rolling, 1:11 to play.
Well, if they score here quick, get an onside kick,
Score again
Score
quickly.
again quick,
Onside kick. Score again quickly.
it'll be
They're
tied
right back in it.
with all the 2-point conversions.
Trying to get into the end zone, I think, for the last time this season is Preble. Gonna hand it off to Columby. He's pulled down.
And that,
Tackle by number 74,
John
John Lopnow.
Lopnow, Jr. with the tackle there.
John Lobnow, a crowd favorite.
30 seconds to play. Preble trying to get into the end zone. They'll hand it off again, and the
Nothing
Raider
happens.
defense
That's
not
a
letting them
tackle,
go. Swarm of Raiders.
tackle
18
for a
seconds.
loss.
12 seconds. Preble does not have any timeouts left. They're down by 24 points, but just trying to get in the end
Hudson
zone.
got called for too many men on the field. Hudson tried to run an offensive lineman on there, or defensive lineman on, and could not get the other man off the field quick enough. Would have been well advised to call a timeout there. But
So it's
with
going to be
5.5 seconds to go, I think it's pretty much over. Time for one more play. It's probably going to be half the distance of the goal, so
Yep. Go half the distance to the goal, and with 5.5 seconds left, probably one play to go. Having some troubles with the PA system right now. Running static over the speakers. Looks like they got it fixed.
I don't think so.
Nope. Not fixed now. This is kind of that artificial crowd noise they used to pump into the Metrodome. I think they got it straightened out now.
And you get a couple different people trying to adjust knobs and dials and what have you in there. And well, it sure has taken them a long time to get this penalty straightened out here. I know it was too many men on the field for Hudson.
5.5 seconds to go. Preble
You got
just
one play.
trying to get a touchdown here just for old time's sake. Raiders leading by 24. Preble. Van Boxel set to throw, and
Does
he's gonna
not get in.
tackled, and that will be
That
it.
will end it.
Give credit to that second and third team Raider defense. Kept them out of the end zone.
Oh, what do we got? We got a penalty. We got an injury. What do we got going here?
Looks like he got an injury.
injury.
Gentleman in the white shirt, slow to get up.
That was a quarterback that kept that. I don't know
Yeah.
if is he the one that's
I
getting
think it
some.
is. I don't see number 12 walking around over there.
There he appears to be getting up.
Getting up under his own power, and I believe he's a junior, so he will get another shot at it next year.
Yeah, that's going to leave a bitter taste in his mouth for the next 9 months.
Congratulations to the Hudson Raiders. They win it tonight 27-3, and will be moving on to the second level of the WIAA Division I playoffs.
And that game will be
I believe it's going to be right here.
right here.
It's kind of one of those
Newton
things that maybe we don't believe it until we see it in writing, but we've been told by the WIAA that they are going to, the Raiders will host at least for the first 2 rounds as long as they win, and they have taken care of business tonight against Green Bay Preble, so we expect to be right back here at Newton Field next week. The Raiders will play the winner of the Appleton North Eau Claire Memorial game going on tonight, also over in Appleton North, so we'll see what happens. The last check, it looked like Appleton North was up pretty dominant in that game, so we're going to guess that's probably who the game's going to be against. But check your local media outlet, and looks to be next Friday night here at Newton Field. Joel,
Yeah,
any closing thoughts?
Unless would they play that game on a Saturday?
It could be. I mean, it's showing right now the default day is a Friday,
Friday,
but
yeah.
maybe they would move it to a Saturday
With
game just because of the
Appleton.
long road trip.
They got to travel. I know they do have the option of playing either a Friday or a Saturday night game, but if they didn't give Green Bay the Saturday game,
Can't see how they're going to give
how they're
Appleton.
going to give Appleton, and maybe it's not up to them. Maybe it's up to Hudson to decide when they want to play it. But pretty dominating performance by Hudson, both on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. I just don't know what Green Bay was thinking. They obviously, I don't think, scouted Hudson as well as they could have, and it showed on the field tonight.
So the Hudson Raiders advance to the second round with a victory tonight, 27-3 over Green Bay Preble. They'll take on the winner of Appleton North and Eau Claire Memorial next week. For Joel Eby, I'm Chris Larson. Thanks for watching Hudson Raider football on the River Channel. We will see you